Are you thinking about starting homeschooling in the fall and you've been doing all of the research, you know what you need to do, you've even looked at some curriculum picks, and your heart is just tugging at you to do this, but you are so scared? Well, guess what? You're not alone. I am right here for you, and let's talk about it all right now. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sydney and I am a full-time working homeschool mom. I am in my second year of homeschooling and it has been the absolute best thing I have ever done. But you clicked on this video because you want to, but you are so scared. And I want to share my story with you, my journey so far, and hopefully some encouragement to let you know that you are more than capable and you can totally do this if your heart is tugging at you to do it. A little backstory about me and my journey so far and where it started. My homeschool journey actually started when my daughter was still finishing up her preschool experience. And I have a full video talking about how we decided to start homeschooling. If you want like all of the details of that, I will link it. But that is where my journey started about a year and a half ago. And I just felt like my heart was tugging at me to home educate my own children. It was telling me to not put them in school. And at this time, I was pregnant with my second baby. I was about to have him in about a few months. And we were like starting to kind of talk about kindergarten and what we were going to do. And I just felt so like worried about sending my daughter to kindergarten and wondering like what this would look like, how it would go, because we had had a pretty rough preschool experience. And I am just telling you, I just felt the call and the pull, and all of a sudden, all of like the homeschool research, all of the homeschool moms, all of it just like started to like pop into my feed, started to like pop into everything I was looking at, just like fell on me basically. And I was like just researching, and I wasn't even like really considering it still, but I was kind of like really looking into it, just wondering what it would even look like. And the more I looked into it, I was like, dang, like this looks good. And I went to my husband one day and I was just like completely out of left field. We had never talked about homeschooling. Like we never thought we would be doing this, be in this position. You know, we both work full time. I have multiple degrees and our lives are so full, so busy. I was about to have another baby and we just had never thought about home educating and it was not on our radar whatsoever. I went to my husband one day and I was like, what do you think about homeschooling? He said to me, I think that would be absolutely amazing. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I have been doing all of this research on it and it looks amazing. We could give our child a personalized one-on-one education. We could have more family time. We could have more freedom. Our children would have better experiences all around. And he was just like, yeah, I don't know if there'd be a better way to educate a child. And I was like, that's exactly what I have been finding through my research. And I was just mind blown. I said to him at that moment, I feel like the Lord is calling me to homeschool. I feel like this is being put on my heart for a reason. And he was just all on board. Yeah, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so, you know, at the beginning, you're so excited and you want to do it and it just feels right. Your heart's telling you to do it. You want to follow that calling, but the fear creeps in, and it creeps in with every person you tell you're going to start homeschooling, especially at that age, especially like when your kids are about to enter school age. Everyone's asking you, oh, like you're starting kindergarten. Oh, where's she going to kindergarten? And I would start to tell people like, we're kind of thinking about homeschooling, and I could just see the looks on their faces that they just were like, what? Like, why? And with every person I would tell, every, experience I would encounter, I would kind of let that fear kind of creep into me, and it would kind of change my thoughts, and it would make me feel like, gosh, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. So I kind of struggled with this back and forth for months. So I started to look into homeschooling. It was probably January, and she would be starting kindergarten in August. So, that's a long ways away, about 8 months. And for that 8 months, I really struggled back and forth, even though my heart was telling me it was the right thing to do. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit. I tried like some kindergarten prep curriculum, and it went so good. I was like mind blown. Honestly, I was mind blown at how much my daughter learned in 1 month of doing like a kindergarten prep book that she hadn't learned in a whole 2 years at preschool. I was like, this is really gonna work. This is really good. But I would just go back and forth. I am also a person who really thinks on things, and I want to have like the right answers right then, So if you're like me, just know you are absolutely not alone if you go back and forth a lot and you're just like always trying to figure out the right thing to do. That is so me. I'm a way overthinker, and that is what I did for like a full 8 months. Some periods, some weeks I was like all in. I was confident this is what we're doing, and other times I was like pulling up the school district, looking at the school she would be going to, thinking about enrolling her. And I got so unsure and so unconfident that I actually enrolled my daughter in school and then unenrolled her several weeks later. I just want to let you know, you're not alone if you are just back and forth all the time and you feel so unsure about your decision, because that was absolutely me. But at the end of the day, once summer came and I unenrolled her, and I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm just taking this leap. It's kindergarten. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. The school will always be there. And I'm just going to take the leap. We're going to try it. I'm never going to know unless I try. So that's exactly what we did. We jumped in and we took the leap, and it is over a year later now. And it was actually this time of year when I enrolled her in school. And I am here to tell you, choosing to home educate was one of the absolute best decisions I've ever made. I have seen so much growth, so much progress in my daughter, and having this time with her is time I will never get back. And it's just been an absolute privilege and a blessing to watch. So I want to share some encouragement with you. If you are feeling like I am just not capable, I'm not qualified, I'm not educated, I don't have a teaching degree, I didn't go to school for this, blah, 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 all of the things that we think, all of the stigmas that are associated with homeschooling, just know it's not true. Know that no one will love your child the way that you do, because you are their parent and you have been raising them and teaching them their entire life. You are the one that has been doing it. No one is more qualified to teach your child than you, because no one will love your child and fight for their success the way that you will. And you might be thinking about like, well, I work, like how can I balance it all? And that is really what my channel is all about, is showing you how I balance and juggle all of this, because I am a full-time working homeschool mom. My life is very full. It's very busy. And the thing is a lot of times when people think about home educating, they think, well, our kids are in school for 6-7 hours a day. I don't have 6-7 hours a day to teach them. And that is not what home education is at all. It does not take 6 to 7 hours a day. The school is set up that way for a reason. We have so many different processes they go through, so many different children that they're catering to. do, all these different breaks, all these distractions. There's a lot that goes into it in a school. But when you are one-on-one with your child, educating them, it takes such a short amount of time because it's just you and one other person, and you're working at the exact pace that your child is at. And that 100% just is not possible anywhere else. Not private school, not public school, none of it. None of it has the personalized one-on-one education that you are giving them. You're choosing to home educate. So especially in the younger elementary years, it should only be taking an hour to 2 a day. Middle school can take upwards of, 3 hours, high school maybe 4 to 6. At that point in their life, in your life, it's so much independent work, and you are not sitting there teaching them one-on-one the whole time. That is another huge stigma people have, like, well, how are you going to teach chemistry and physics and all these things? And the truth is most homeschool moms don't. They outsource all of these subjects. They are using world-class tutors, online programs, curriculum. They are getting such an incredible education experience because it's all tailored to that specific person, to your child. And at that point, they're learning so much of it through independent studies. Or they're doing like dual enrollment for college, they're graduating early. The list goes on and on. The benefits are absolutely incredible. Or maybe your worry is you are worried about the socialization aspect. That's a huge stigma we hear all the time about homeschooling, and that's usually the face people give you when you tell them you're choosing to do it, because that's the first thing they think. Oh, so they're gonna be like weird, they're not gonna have any friends, and they're not gonna be socialized. You've heard it all. And it's just absolutely not true. Our children have actually, I would say, a better and usually closer, stronger social interactions with their friends, because they're not just like forced with a group of people all their same age that they have to be with every single day, day in and day out. They more so get to choose their friendships, choose when they see each other, because they're just like adults. Sometimes like we get sick of, seeing people all the time, and that's how kids are too. And when you choose to home educate, they actually get to more so pick the times when they want to play with friends and see them, those things, and they end up building like a little bit of like closer social interactions because of that. And homeschooled kids also do like all of the activities. They're involved in all the sports still, all of the extracurriculars, all of the classes still. Like my daughter does an art class, we've done gymnastics, done dance. Like there's just so much, and you actually have a lot more time for those things when you home educate, because the one-on-one education with your child is so much shorter than they would be if they were in school all day. So they have more time for the extracurriculars. And they build tons of friendships through those as well. And it's actually really good for them because it's with children of all different ages. So usually like the older children help regulate and teach younger children. They usually have like a more well-rounded social experience because of the age mixing. Age segregation is such a school thing, and think of the last time like you were in a group of 30 people your exact same age. Like the last time was probably when you were in school, and that is just because that's not how the real world works. We're not just surrounded by people all of our same age for 7 hours on end a day. And even when you have a job, that's usually not how it goes. It's not all people your exact same age. So having different age groups mixing socially is actually so beneficial to the development of children. Another piece of advice I want you to know is if you are just like so scared to start doing this, one thing I kind of always kept in the back of my mind when I would feel those feelings come up is that the school will always be there. Whether you are choosing to pull your children out to home educate them, or whether you are home educating from the beginning, the school's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. And if the time comes where you feel like this isn't working anymore, we don't like this, our children don't like it, you can always put them back in school. Like, it's always going to be there. They'll always take your child, and there's no reason not to try it if your heart is tugging at you to try it. And that is like a huge little thing I always kept in the back of my head when that fear would creep in. Like, what do I have to lose? You know, they are in school for so long of their lives, and it's always going to be there. You can put them in if you need to. So you might as well just like take the leap and try it, because you will regret not trying it more than you'll regret trying it. Because you will just never know what it's like unless you just jump in and be scared. All of us are scared when we first start. You will not talk to like a single homeschool mom who was not so scared when she started. We all feel that way. No one taught us how to do this, you know, like most all of us are self-educated. We have learned from other homeschool moms who have done it longer than us, who have gone before us, and no one taught us how to do this. You know, most of us went to school, and it is so scary to take this leap. But I want you to know you are not alone. I am right here for you. I share all homeschooling content, motherhood, day in the lives to kind of show you how I balance and juggle all of this. It's not easy, but it is so worth it. I want to leave you on the note of just remembering how short your children's childhood is. Childhood is so short. I only get this one shot. I only get this one time with them while they are children, and I want to make it the absolute best possible for them. I want as much time with my children as possible. You will never regret having more time. So just take that with you and know that you're not alone. I really hope that this video helped to encourage you and it gave you some insight, and you got kind of a look into how my journey started and just how scared I was. Like, I want you to know I was so scared, like, especially where I live. Let me start with this. Where I live, and my family in particular, I don't have anyone else in my family that homeschools. They all send their children to school. When I was first looking into homeschooling, I didn't know anyone else that did it. No one in my community, no one in my family, none of my friends. And that made it even scarier, right? Like, I just wished so badly that I knew someone else that did it. And luckily, I had a friend who grew up and she was homeschooled, so I was able to talk to her about her experience, and that was very encouraging. But she was really the only person I knew. I don't know anyone else. And it can feel like you are the only person in the world doing this, but you absolutely are not. Once I got into it and I started like looking into the homeschool communities in my area, I could not believe how many people were homeschooling. There are so many people homeschooling, just no one is talking about it. So just know that, like, you're not the only one choosing to do it. Lots of people are, and it is just growing every single year. If you are like trying to find community, usually you can find co-ops through like Facebook. That's what I've found, and you'll be amazed by how many other people are doing it. And if you have a hard time, sometimes like in really rural areas, sometimes people have like a little bit of a harder time finding co-ops. Usually there still are some though. But just know, like, I usually, like, we've gone to co-ops here and there. I also have a video talking all about that if you want to see it. But you totally don't need that. I have found so much connection through, like, other homeschool moms on the internet, on YouTube, and there's just so much connection to be made here, and that is really what I'm trying to build with you, because I know it can feel so lonely, and I really wanted community too. So you've got this. We are in it together. You are not alone. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.